Our mission to find the best chips in the world starts today. Our first review is from a brand that's been around since 1986, but is pretty new to the chip game.
And this company currently has 11 different flavors of chips, and today we're going to review 3 of them.
I'm Kevin.
And I'm Brandon.
And we're
the
Chip Guys.
So before we dig in, we want you to know how we rate each chip.
We don't always agree.
But we do consistently rank them on 4 different categories. So firstly, we have bagability. Next, we have flavorability, crunchability, and lastly, my personal favorite, dipability. Today we start part 1 of our review of Hal's of New York.
Hal's was started by Irving Herskowitz, who went by the nickname Hal's. Hal's is located in New York and has been making chips since 2019.
And they also offer an array of items such as popcorn, pretzels, seltzers, and of course, potato chips.
All right, Brandon, so let's get started. I'm going to give you the honors of choosing the first bag.
No, Kevin, it's let's dip in.
Oh, let's dip in.
But I'm honored you let me pick the first bag, though. So I'm going to go with my personal favorite, sour cream and onion.
I knew you were going to go with sour cream. You are a sour cream.
You did not know
yeah,
that.
you like sour cream.
So I do really like sour cream, but I don't think he knew that. But anyways, so the first category that we're going to talk about, again, is bagability.
Yep.
So for those of you who don't know what that is, bagability essentially means how easy is that bag to open? Because I don't know about you guys, but there are some potato chips where you go to open the top and it's real smooth, real crispy, and then other times you have to flip the whole bag over, pop it, or sometimes you even have to go to the drawer and get some handy dandy scissors.
That's the worst when you're really craving
It really
some chips.
is, because when you really want chips, you really just want to have that smooth, crisp
Yep.
open, and that's it. So, yeah, I mean, we're going to see how the sour cream and onion holds up, obviously, in comparison with the other ones. So, let's open it and see how it goes. All right, here we go. The moment of truth. Drum roll. Somebody give me a drum roll. It's a little tough.
That looks a little tough.
It was a little bit. I mean, it wasn't impossible, but it definitely wasn't the easiest.
There was some resistance in there, I can see that.
But I will tell you guys, for those of you at home, you obviously can't smell these, but man, they smell great.
Let me smell these.
Smell them. Tell me what you think.
That smell good.
It does smell really good. It almost kind of smells like a sour cream and onion pierogi. That's the best way I can describe it.
So Brandon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard was that bag to open?
Yeah, you know, honestly, I would probably say that was a solid 6.
Okay.
So it wasn't like the worst to open, but it wasn't the easiest. And especially just because on the edges here, could have also been the way I opened it, but it did have a little bit of tear right there. So, you know, I would probably rate it a 6.
All right, so we rated a 6.
And you can't rate it because you didn't open it. But you got the next bag. So now that we just discussed bagability and how easy this bag of chips was to open, now we're going to move into the next category, which is flavorability.
Yes.
So now we're going to actually taste the chip, see how well it tastes, and what our initial first reactions are of the flavor. So Kevin, since you let me open the bag, I'm going to let you taste the first chip.
Such a gentleman.
I know. I am a gent and a
Here
sour.
we go. Hal's of New York, sour cream and onion. Let's see what we got here.
All right.
Still smells good.
What do you think? What's your thoughts? What's going through that head?
Onion.
Onion?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know that. It's sour cream and
I know,
onion.
but I got a lot of onion on that.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me try one.
That's a big one.
Now, see, with that one, I definitely tasted a lot more sour cream. I definitely see that hint of onion you're talking about, but it's actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably one of the best ones that I've tasted, at least with sour cream and onion so far.
I really like this.
Yeah, this is really good. Now you see why I'm so partial to sour cream and onion.
No, I like sour cream and onion. You're a huge fan of sour cream and onion, but...
I am. What would you consider yourself? More of a barbecue guy?
Man, that's tough.
I know. You can never choose a good bag of
I
chips.
can't choose. Depends on the occasion, but it's actually pretty creamy, which I really like.
Yeah, and also, if you look at the chip as well, you can kind of see that there is that little bit of, I don't know, what is that, like garlic? I can't tell what it is.
Well, sour cream and onion, buddy.
No, the little like green specks on
I
it.
don't know what that is.
Yeah, well, regardless, it looks like a
Parsley?
sweet parsley.
It's parsley, bud.
I couldn't think of what the seasoning was, but regardless, it looks like a great chip when you look at it overall. So,
I really like the flavor of that. That's man, I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 for me, that's a good 8. Like, it's really, really good flavor on that chip. I really, really liked it.
I think I'd have to agree with you. I think I'd probably be at an 8 as well.
So we agree.
Yeah, we agree for once, but
right.
that's not going to happen every episode, just so you guys know.
Yeah, I really like that, Brandon. That's a good flavor on that chip. All right, Brandon. So now we're getting into my favorite category, and that's crunchability.
Why is it your favorite?
I just think when you're eating a potato chip, there's just nothing better than when you bite into it and it's just crunchy. Like, I love it. That's, I think, what makes a potato chip great.
That's what makes potato chips great. All right, you heard it here. And also, I think it kind of ties in with flavorability as well, right? For sure. Because we already tested the flavor of it, but now we're going to retry it again and really just focus on the crunchability of it versus just the flavor this time. So
here we go.
Let's try another one. Dig in and grab one. Oh, I got to grab a big one.
All right.
Okay. All right, let's go.
Let's grab a little,
little
guy here. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I'm trying to do it. Here we go. Here we go.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you what. It's not a super thick chip. It's actually pretty thin.
Yeah. It definitely has a lot of crunch to it.
For sure.
But the weird part is it has a lot of crunch, but it also is not wavy like most chips. Because I know a lot of those wavy chips, that's when you really get the most crunch. But I'm pretty impressed because for this not being a super wavy chip, it definitely gives a pretty good amount of crunch.
I think, for what it is, I mean, it's not very thick at all. And it's crunchy. This is great.
Yeah, I really like it. And you still get that really good flavor too. Like I haven't even lost that flavor at all.
Yeah, the flavor is great. I don't know, for me, crunchability, man, that's
good. What would you rate it?
I would say, man, that's an 8. Like that's really a crunchy chip for it, not being such like a super thick chip.
Yeah.
It's really, really good. I like that. I think it's a solid 8 for me.
Yeah. I'm gonna say probably a 9, only because I'm pretty close to where you're at. But like I said, I'm just really impressed of how, again, it's not really like a wavy chip. Well, that's a bad chip, so let me grab another one. It's not really a super wavy chip, but it really gives you that really good amount of crunch. So I think that's what I'm really impressed about is that, again, not a super wavy, not a super thick chip, but you still get that really good amount of crunch. And honestly, every chip that I've eaten so far, you still get really good flavor out of it.
So this, like I said, this is an 8 for me. You're giving it a 9.
I'm going to stick with a 9. But again, I'm also partial to sour cream and onion.
So that might help the score a little bit, but yeah. All right,
just a little bit.
Yeah, I like it.
All right. So now we're on to the final category for this chips. And again, it's my personal favorite. Let's dip in. So you want to tell us more about Lawson's chip dip?
For those of you in Northeast Ohio, this is the only chip dip you can get. I don't think you can get it online because you can honestly hardly find it in a lot of stores around here. But this is the best chip dip I've ever had in my life.
So you like it? It's safe to say you like it more than like a Tostitos.
I mean, this is the best chip dip you'll ever have in your life. So,
all right, you heard it here first. Kevin said it, so go ahead and open that.
Ooh, yeah, it's really good.
Oh yeah, look at that.
French onion.
I'm gonna try and dip it subtly so you guys can see it. That's what it looks like.
All right, Brandon, grab it.
So we're gonna see how this chip holds up to the dip.
There's nothing worse than when you get chips, you dip it in, and 90% end up in the dip. That's the worst.
And this chip that I just grabbed, I would actually say this is perfect for dipping.
Look at that.
Because it's got the rounded edge, but then it's also got that little flat piece right there, so
perfect.
you can just casually dip it. All right, cool.
I mean, I think I could pick up this whole jar with this.
Oh yeah, man, the dip is great. You weren't kidding. Kevin sometimes knows what he's talking about. Not always, but sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That chip had no problem with that.
Yeah.
No problem at all.
That was a solid dip for me, and as you can see in that clip, that dip was really, really smooth. I think I did a great job.
This is a pretty hefty dip too, so I mean, you're pulling here and it's not going anywhere.
Oh yeah, it's not going anywhere. Yeah, I think the way the dip tastes, and also just from this specific flavor of chips, I think it really adds to it and it adds up. Oh, that was a really.
But even that's a small chip, and that just cut through.
No, I'm really impressed with that one. I think that's good.
Yeah. So what do you rate that?
I'm gonna give that a 10. I think that was really, really good. Because like I said, sometimes you go to dip them in, they just break off. I think that was at least for a first run, I think that was a really smooth dip into there, and the flavor just tastes amazing with it. The dip combined with this flavor of Hal's, definitely got to try it. So
yeah, I think for me, scale of 1 to 10, that was a 10. This chip is not breaking off in this dip at all. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And for the next video, if you guys have any dips that you might like better than Lawson's, leave a comment down below and let us know what kind of chip dip you like, and we'll try it out.
All right, so that kind of gives our review of the sour cream and onion.
Yeah, on to the next.
On to the next.
And so since you let me pick my first and favorite of the sour cream and onion, I'm going to let you pick the next bag. Then.
Ooh, all right. Let's see. What do we have
Surprise.
here?
What is it?
Let's do just an original sea salt.
He's so basic. It's almost like he's predictable.
Well, I'm kind of maybe saving the best for the last because this is kind of one of my favorite flavors. But I do love just original chips. So, Brandon, you get the honors of opening every bag. So here we go.
All right. Let's do it. We'll keep that score consistent. Oh, man. All right. Let's see. All right.
Here we go.
Whew.
Uh-oh. It looked pretty much the same as what you did last time.
Yeah, I would say, as far as, we'll have to see how the third bag is, but as far as this being the second bag, it seems pretty consistent as far as opening, right?
It looked pretty much the same.
Yeah, it wasn't super easy, super hard, so for opening that again, I would probably say that's a 6 at least.
Nice. Cool.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, even the smell of it,
Yeah.
it doesn't strike me as anything crazy. It just smells like a basic potato chip. You get a little bit of hint of salt in there, so you can definitely smell that a little. But
Smells
it's
like
not
a good chip, though.
Yeah, it definitely smells like a good chip. But again,
I like it.
It's not anything as strong as the sour cream and onion was, where we opened it up and we're like,
I mean,
oh, it's really good.
it's just a basic chip, but it smells great.
But I think that's about as best as you're gonna get for at least an original sea salt chip.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
we did bagability. Now we're gonna talk again about flavorability. So let's go ahead and try one.
All right. Go ahead. You go ahead first, sir.
All right, let's give it a shot. I'm trying to get a nice potato chip. Oh, they're actually all kind of. Oh, here we go.
So remember, flavorability is just what's the flavor of this chip? Is it strong? Is it weak? Is it not anything what you expected before? So let's see. This again is just a classic sea salt, original sea salt. Nothing too crazy. This seems a lot thinner. Just looking at it.
Yeah, honestly, Kevin, it's not my favorite as far as flavorability. It tastes like a normal plain potato chip. It's not anything super crazy. It doesn't really stand out to me. I don't really think it's my favorite, but, I would definitely say it's probably a little bit.
I don't know. I think for a plain potato chip, I think it's tasty.
But in my opinion, when you have a basic potato chip like this, or at least just the flavor of it, I feel like this flavor would be better if it had more ruffles in it.
You like the wavy kind of stuff.
I do kind of like the wavy ones. But see, if you have the original sea salt one and then you have the wavy factor, I think that just really adds to it. The flavor that this is and the how it kind of crunches, which we'll get into crunchability in a moment. But, I don't know. I'm not really too crazy about it. No. I think for me, this is going to be on the lower end of the spectrum. Okay. I think this is only going to be probably a 2 for me.
Wow. Okay.
It's pretty low.
I'm not going that low. I think the flavor is actually, for just a regular sea salt chip, I think it's not bad at all. I think this is a 6. It's not horrible by any means. It's not a 2, but in my opinion, that's, I think it's a 6. I think it's 6 pretty solid.
All right, we'll take it.
All right. So now we're back to my favorite category, crunchability. I love a good crunchy chip, so let's see what this one can do. All right.
All right. You do the honors.
I'll do the honors first. All right, let's grab one here. Oh, I don't like that one.
Yeah, grab another.
I don't like the ones that are like all folded up. The crunchability.
Those are only
unfair.
Good. Those are good for dipping.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I tell you what I noticed on this one before I even eat that. Like, this chip seems a lot thinner than the sour cream and onion.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, grab it. Let's see what we got going on here.
Yeah.
I know he doesn't like the flavor. I like the flavor. I don't think it's bad at all. But the crunchability, definitely, I don't think it's as strong as that sour cream and onion.
It definitely wasn't. So I rated that about a 9 for the crunchability. I would say that's at least a 7. For the crunch.
Yeah.
It's not as consistent for sure, because I definitely think those sour cream and onions had a lot more crunch to them. These ones aren't terrible, but it's not really up there with that sour cream and onion. So I would say that's probably a 7, at least for me.
You're going to a 7. I'm going to go down to a 5.
Wow. You're right in the middle of the spectrum.
Yeah, it's got a nice crunch to it, but it's not crunchy as the sour cream and onion, which I thought was much crunchier. So I would say this is a 5 for me.
Okay.
It's not bad by any means. It is not bad. It's if you like crunchier chips, this one is not going to give you that crunch that you may really like.
Yeah. So far, again, if you want that crunch, the sour cream and onion is definitely the way to go.
Absolutely.
And also, we're going to try it with the dip here in a moment, but I think the sour cream and onion just really pairs well with the dip. So
Agreed.
We're going to find out. Let's move. So now we're on to the final category, which again is my favorite, dipability. But this time, I'm going to let you dip it.
All right.
So we can see how well it holds.
I'm going to be honest with you, the last sour cream and onion held up really well. But that chip was definitely thicker. So it's going to be interesting how this one holds up. Let me see. Can we get a...
Yeah, find a little thicker one.
Well, I'm trying to find like a little larger one. I don't want to give it a disadvantage here. Let's see here, Brandon. Let's find a good one here. You know what? I'm just going to go with this first one here.
All
I'm
right.
just going to go with the first one here. All right, so here we go. All right, well, I mean, it held up. I was kind of shocked, to be honest with you.
That is going to break.
I mean, it's so much thinner than the last one. But it held up.
Right,
No problem. Oh, you got a folded one. That's way stronger.
Uh-huh.
You guys, this dip is so good. Yeah, Lawson chip dip is the best. But yeah, scoop here. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and I think when you dip this, when you dip this specific flavor with the dip now, it actually adds to it. I think it makes it taste a little bit better now. Because if you're just eating it as a plain potato chip, again, not my favorite based on the last rating, but I definitely think that when you contribute and add that dip to it, it tastes a lot better.
I tell you what though, like I know it's just a plain sea salt, but if you had this with like just like a turkey sandwich or something like that, I mean, I think this would be a great pairing with something like that.
I agree. I really
by
like
itself, it's not the greatest. It's not, again, not bad. I just think pairing it with something obviously like a dip or a sandwich or something would be an awesome way to go for this one.
Absolutely. I really like that analogy. I think that's really good, especially with the sandwich. Maybe in a hot dog, honestly.
Yeah, there you go.
Hot dog and chips. I can see it.
I think dipability, I'll be honest with you, I'm a little shocked. I just, because it's so much thinner, I didn't think it would stand up. I'm going to say, yeah, because I have some integrity concerns, but I'm going to say this for me was a 7. I think it definitely stood up more than I thought it would.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you on that rating. I'd probably be at a 7 as well.
Right.
You know, because again, I know I grabbed a little bit thicker of a chip than you did, but it did really hold up well. I truthfully thought with most of those chips, I thought it was going to break. So the fact that it at least held up good, that's good, because now that reassures us if you have this dip at least, you're not going to have a bunch of broken potato chips in your dip. So
which is the worst.
it is the worst.
All right.
And so we're going to move on to the third and final bag. Can anyone, well, not anyone, but can you guess the flavor?
Well, I can look down and see it, but let's just show it.
Let's just show them. We'll do it that way instead. All right, so the third and final flavor is going to be barbecue. Now, again, sour cream and onion, as I've said many times, is my favorite, but I would say this is probably a close second or third. I'm very into barbecue chips. I think they're really, really good. So this is going to be interesting to see how they taste and how they hold up to the dip and crunch and etc.
Yeah, so let's find out. So let's open this bad boy.
Oh yeah, that was a smooth open.
Yeah, it looked pretty similar to what you did the last couple times. That might have been a hair easier, but...
You know, arguably, I would probably say that was actually a little bit easier than both bags of chip last time. So I think this time around, that's definitely get a little bit higher of a score from me. Yeah. I'd probably say that's at least a 9.
Wow, okay.
I think that was pretty good. Because like I said, I mean, you've known we've had those bags that we can't get them open. And I just feel like, even though it's the slightest difference, I feel like this actually opened a little bit easier than the other two did.
Looks like it. All right, what's your first smell there, bud?
You can definitely smell a hint of barbecue, but it's not the strongest barbecue I've ever tasted. Or smelled, I should say.
Yeah. No, I mean, it has good scent.
It does have a really good scent.
Not really strong, not like...
No, but some bags of barbecue, you open them and you really get that hint of barbecue that just hits you straight in the face. Yeah. I'm not getting that with this one. You can smell it a little bit, but it's definitely not the strongest. So, but it does smell really good though. I really like that. So now we're going to have to see how the flavor is, the crunch, and obviously see if it holds up to the dip. Can that chip dip?
Yeah. So you give it a 9?
Yeah, I would give it a 9. What would? Oh.
Yeah. Well, I can't give it a score. You open it. So
that's
a 9.
true.
I think a 9 is good for us.
Kevin. So since I opened it up again, I'll let you get the first.
All right.
The first taste, and you'll let us know what that flavor is.
The first flavor.
Yep.
All right. So flavorability again is just. What's the flavor of this chip? What is it? You know, is it great, strong, weak? Let's find out.
I think it's going to be pretty good.
I do like the smell. It's again not strong, but I do like the smell.
Very subtle. Let's try one. I'm trying to get a good one. Oh yeah.
So
it's so folded.
One chip in. And give another one just to see. It's not a strong barbecue flavor. It's not bold.
It's definitely got a lot of spice to it. I would say. It's not really a strong barbecue, but it definitely does have a little bit of spice to it.
Yeah.
And honestly, at least that one that I just had, might have to try another one just to see. But I think the crunch was actually really good on that. I think it was better than the original sea salt for sure. I think this...
The flavor?
Yes, the flavor and the crunchability.
I don't know, when I have a barbecue chip, I like to really taste barbecue. And for me,
It's just not doing it for you.
it's a good flavor, but it's not like a pow in your face. So
So flavorability,
I
what would you
think-
rate that?
for me, this is a solid barbecue chip. I'm gonna say it's a 6. It's not the strongest. It's not gonna blow your socks off, but I definitely I like it for sure. But this is a 6 for me for flavor.
Yeah, I like things that are a little bit spicier, so I think that's really what's doing it for me. It's not really so much the barbecue taste. I just like that little bit of spicy aftertaste I'm getting from it.
Yeah, there is that little kick. There's
It
a little
does.
kick on your tongue.
It's
right
got
now.
a little bit of a kick on your tongue, so I honestly would say that's probably a 7 for me.
All right.
I think that was pretty good. So, again, like you'd mentioned, it's not going to blow your socks off, not the best barbecue chip out there, but I definitely like the spice to it, and it gives you a little bit of kick. So
Yeah,
I
nice.
think
I
that's
like
pretty
it.
good. All right, Kevin, so now we're back to your favorite category.
Yeah,
So
absolutely my favorite.
now we're back to the crunchability. So let's see what you
Let's
think.
see what we can do here.
Try another one.
Again, just looking at this, it doesn't seem as thick as that sour cream and onion.
Yeah.
So, just grab some.
And again, the flavor of it and the crunch also kind of go together. So,
Yeah,
Here
here we go. I don't know. Crunch, to me,
it's not that much. right?
there's really nothing to it. It almost kind of like dissolves in your mouth. There's that small resistance, and then it just kind of goes away.
I would agree. I think the taste of it, like I said, last time it was a 7. I think the flavor and the taste of it's really good, but the crunch
Yeah.
really isn't doing it for me.
Yeah, I like the flavor. I would say crunch on this particular here. I would say this is like a 3. This is below average crunch. If you're a crunchy guy and you like crunchy chips, this one is not as definitely as crunchy as the other ones we've reviewed. So
Yeah.
I would say this is a 3 for me.
Definitely. I'm pretty close to where you're at, I would say. I'm definitely at a 4, at least with that one.
Nice.
Again, not super crunchy, but yeah,
Right.
it's definitely on the lower end of the spectrum for sure. So, based on the other sea salt ones and then also these barbecue ones, again, if you're looking for something crunchier, not going to be good for both of those. So, I would definitely say out of the 3 so far, the sour cream and onion definitely have the best crunch.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so now on to Brandon's favorite category, dipability. How well can this chip hold up to the dip?
Exactly. All right, let's give it a shot.
Go ahead, Brandon.
Last one.
You go first.
Ooh, that Lawson's looks good. I'm gonna find a pretty decent chip. Because you know me, I like the ones that fold a little bit. So. Alright, I think that's good. Almost kind of looks like a taco.
Yeah,
You know?
that's good. I'm just gonna get a little one here. That's a small one. Find a little bigger one here. Notice these chips are a little small. Anything? Well, this is a folded one, so.
That's a very interesting taste. So I definitely think it holds up to the dip really well. Well, you got a bigger chip than me, so. I definitely think it holds up very well. But as far as the taste of it in that specific dip, it's very interesting. I don't know. It's hard to describe it. You get a little bit of that spiciness. Not really so much barbecue. I taste more of like a spicy,
Yeah.
I don't know,
I'll tell you what,
onion.
though, I like it.
It is really good.
The chip had no problem.
No. It's not falling apart in this dip, guys. So you're good.
What did we give the last one on dipability? Remember? Did we get a 7? Something like that? 7 maybe?
Can't put me on the spot like
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. For dipability, for me, I mean that's. Yeah, that's a 7. There's no problem with that. I'm still a little concerned that it might, because it is thin.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, yeah, I think I said 7 for me.
Okay, cool. Well, now we can go back and total up all of our scores and see what we rated each one.
What did you rate this one?
Honestly, I think it's probably going to be pretty close to the other ones. I'd probably say that's at least a 7.
Okay.
I think it holds up pretty well. So, again, not the perfect chip, but
Right.
it's not terrible either. So,
So let's tally these up and see where we stand.
absolutely. Right, so for the final part of our episode here, we're going to go over our tallied up scores. Any final thoughts, comments, concerns you might have.
So yeah, so I mean, just thinking about it, Brandon, where do you think you rank these in order of like the best bag of the day to your least favorite?
I think you know what I'm going to say.
I do.
I think you know, but so in order, I would probably definitely say sour cream and onion. Obviously, is going to be my favorite, number one. Just because I really did not enjoy the originals as much, I'm going to put barbecue in second. I think for my second pick, and then for the last one, I think that's going to be the original sea salt. Again, it's not terrible, but it's not something that really just pops out. It doesn't stand out to me. I think the sour cream and onion was probably the best as far as taste, how well it held up to the dip, everything. And then barbecue's a pretty close second for me. So
that's actually how you scored it too. So looking at your scores, you gave this a 32 out of 40.
Yeah.
Your barbecue, you gave it 27 out of 40, and then your salt was 22 out of 40. So absolutely right. That's right on. For me, I'm going to have to say I agree with you. Yes, I agree with you mostly. Okay, so sour cream and onion, I don't like agreeing with him on everything, but the sour cream and onion by far was the best chip of the day. I like how thick it was. Taste was really, really good. Really liked it a lot. I did really like the salt, but I agree with you. The barbecue is number 2 in my book. I gave it a score of 24. I did like it.
Okay.
And then, yeah, the salt was just behind it. I'm sorry, I gave this 25. The salt was 24. So for me, it was really close. I know this was much lower for you, but I did really like this. But we're going to agree on these 3 here. In this order, just happened how we put them up here is sour cream and onion, barbecue, and salt. That's how we wrap this up.
Yeah, and also, again, these are only 3 of the 11 flavors that they have. So we're actually going to put where you guys can buy these in the description down below. So if you guys happen to get any of these chips and try them out, please feel free to leave a comment on our video and let us know what you guys think as far as the categories that we rank these on. Because I don't think people are going to agree with you.
Well, we're also going to do another series on some more of these chips as well, too, so stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for House Part 2.
Guys, if you like this video, please check out our next one. We'll review a chip from the great state of Minnesota.
And be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel.